Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins in the current Rust store, make comparisons to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to how much each of these skins are likely to sell by next Thursday. And then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments? Are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. So here's the first 24 hours of sales. However, I was a little bit late by about 2 hours. I completely forgot this was an early Rust rotation. Yep, you can moan at me if you want to. It's justified. But I will sit here and say, at the very least, all the skins here seem like they're selling quite nicely. But these two, very, very close. And even now, still very, very close. You'll see that in a minute. But one notable concern that we can easily identify is that the large box did sell more than the small box. And it is a bit questionable whether this is actually going to emulate the behaviour the small boxes kind of been going through. I'm sure you've seen the prices. Yep. So, okay, fair enough. But the Neon Farm Garage door, that is looking like it's a lot more promising. It looks like a lot more people are actually wanting it. So we'll talk more about that in a bit. Tier 3 set, Boneforged. I wasn't super behind it based on the fact that it's a new metallic set. But that's actually selling quite nicely. People really do seem to be appreciating it. Alright, fair enough. Sheep door's doing very nicely. The tools are doing very nicely. Everything's doing quite alright. I'm just surprised about the weapons. You have a transparent aim sight custom SMG right there, and it's the second lowest selling. It's second lowest selling skin. And then you got the AK, green AK, red aim sight, lowest selling skin. Well, we did have one quite recently, and that's probably been a bit awkward, and people are aware of that. So yeah, okay, fair enough. Overall, seems like there's a high average amount of sales, but is everything going to be all right still? Well, that's what we're here for. So let's go over and take a look at the sales right now. So I am recording this at a little bit later of a time, but I can look at the current sales and still deduce, what's a good potential amount of sales these skins are likely to have by Thursday. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about these two skins at the same time. So how are we going to compare? I think the best thing we can do is literally look at the previous week. We might have to go about like halfway between the small box and the Heatseeker Thompson. I feel like that's probably the best thing we can do. Now, if I could just quickly point out, you'll notice there's a bit of a problem. With SCMM having a bit of an update recently, a lot of skins kind of got shuffled around. So I can confirm to you the top selling skin was the Thompson, and the second top selling skin was the Bamboo Cage. So that did just over 34,000 subscribers, and this did around 26,500 almost. So, okay, there's a bit of space there. We are going to generalise. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? 27 to 31,000 subscribers. There is a bit of a gap there, but I don't know if we're going to, actually see these two remain neck and neck throughout. And, yeah, they're quite a ways away, but they are selling quite nicely. I'm actually very much surprised about the garage door. But the large box, not too surprising, because the small box did get a lot of attention. Now, with that being transparent and green, you can hide it in the bushes, you can hide it in the jungle foliage. It's easy to hide, and you get the idea. It's useful. And you can use it for peaks by putting it on the wall. However, that large box, you can't put it on walls, but you can put it on floors. And if you have like gaps, if you have certain tower bases and whatnot, well, you can look down through it. It's totally easy to see through it. Because weirdly, the bottom part of the large box, it's not actually visible when you look down. So this is where I need to go over to YouTube and point out a certain short video. See that right there? This video will showcase to you this whole thing that I'm trying to get across to you. It can be used for peaks if you put it on the floor. You can have the actual large box sticking outwards above, over an edge like a plank. But what has to be understood is that you might sit there and say, oh, but you could just shoot the large box. It takes 2 clips for an AK to destroy it. 60 bullets. Small box only took 1, but the large box, it is more durable, and I feel like, again, in the hands of someone who can build a lot better, that it could be utilised for peaks. Because when you look underneath the large box, you do see the bottom. But again, when you look above and look down below, yeah, you can. You could just see through it. So watch the video, you'll see exactly what I mean. I'm not sure if that's going to be super useful, but the more people are aware of it, the more interesting it might be. So, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, large box. How much are you going to probably be, doing afterwards? Like, is the price actually going to retain? Now, going back over to here to the small box. When the large box appeared, this did go up to about $9 at one point. It did go back down because more people could list theirs. But it's comfortably sitting there, double the price it was selling for in the Rust store last week. More skins will be appearing. look at it again in a week. If it's still got the same price, at least that would be a lot more like, I'd be a lot more confident that it would actually retain that price. Let's go with that. But this, what do we have after you? It's a bit questionable, but apparently the skin creator does intend to make like a locker next, apparently. And the only way you're going to be aware of that is, of course, if you keep an eye on their workshop. So keep an eye on that. And let's see what new, strange, transparent bamboo deplorables we see next. Alright, but the garage door. By default, when I first saw this, I did bring up how the neon garage doors haven't exactly been doing super great. Now, none of them like did up to 30,000 subscribers, but none of them have done a very good job of retaining like their value. But as we are about to approach the summertime now, maybe things will change. Maybe we might see some more garage doors, or other labelled doors. With this being the farm door, I'm very much under the impression people are actually buying it because they want it, they appreciate it. I have a farm. I need this. Feel free to comment below if you're one of them. But yeah, I feel like this has a lot more justified, like actual genuine demand, and people actually buying it because they want to use it. So okay, fair enough, that's cool. And I will bring this up. Duck the Skin Creator is intending to like reinvigorate the neon collection. He has recently made a vending machine and a small box. So we'll see if these potentially get accepted. We'll see what happens next. But yeah, point made. We might be seeing more of this. And perhaps the garage door might have a bit more momentum behind it with some more garage doors or something being accepted afterwards. What labelled room would you like to see next? I'd like to see a neon bedroom. Something like that. You tell me, alright? So, okay, cool. We'll see how it is. Both those skins are abnormal. So, of course, Wednesday night I will be streaming around 9 PM London time. Look in the description to see links to all my socials. And, of course, my Twitch is the most important one. Hop on stream, say hello. We'll talk about prices, and then we'll race to put borders down. Both of those are looking interesting. But keep an eye on the workshop to see if there's any interesting collection continuations. Let's now talk about the tier 3. I will probably include the sheep in the door as well, because they were very close to each other. Yes, they were. So I'll do all 3 of these as a generalized sort of batch, because the tier 3 kind of had to keep that close to each other. So if I were to look back in previous weeks, it's a bit awkward because we don't really have anything that really compares to the numbers. And of course, you could deduct 500 subscribers based on the late time. Fair enough, we could do that. But there really isn't anything that did like 9,000 subscribers, which is a little bit awkward. So I guess if I were to get fairly close, I could probably look at that like garage door there. I could probably also look at the neon exit garage door. What else was there that sold quite a lot? Again, it is a bit of a struggle. Even going over to here, I'm just trying to find something. But nothing did 9,000 subscribers after the first 24 hours of sales. So let's go ahead and take a look at those previous weeks, and there you go. There's that garage door with just under 19,000 subscribers. I think the neon exit garage door's here somewhere. There it is, just over 19,000 subscribers. Okay. But you know what? Maybe there's one more thing I could probably look at. So if I go back over to here, if I could go to the week where we saw a ridiculous amount of sales, that being the May Force White Rust rotation, we had a tier 3 set right there. Black Alligator tier 3. Now that actually did 11,500 and 10,800 subscribers. But I know that this was a wacky week where we saw tons of sales. That didn't do super insane sales by the end of the week, but it did still do quite a lot. I'm going to go quickly see that. So back over to here. Let me just see. Right, that had 23,600 subscribers, and this had just over 22. Okay, I'm not expecting that much, but I still think we could get fairly close to that. So back over to here, looking at the current momentum. Alright, so maybe just the face mask might get close to those numbers, and the chest plate obviously might be lacking. But if we were to go a bit generalised, I'm thinking 17 to 21,000 subscribers. And yes, that does include the sheep in the door here. For the tier 3, I will talk specifically and say, if it doesn't matter. Look, listen. I know I have some prejudices with metallic sets, I know. But I will sit here and say, I have still seen metallic sets work out nicely when collection continuations have appeared, okay? Tier 2, hoodie and pants, either boots or gloves, that'll definitely help this out. And the only way you're going to stay up to date is to keep an eye on the workshop and see what the skin creators produce next. So Alloy and Hook, let's see what happens next, but you should keep an eye out, alright? If we don't see those collection continuations fairly soon, the prices very likely will drop off though. So you could go look at all the face masks over the past year or so, look and see what collections we had. I could bring up Blacksmith, but that never got anything other than the tier 3s. So, alright, fine then. Heavy Knight went down, unfortunately. Cyber Collection went down. Damascus did quite alright. Yep, that actually went up in the positive. But then you have high quality metal. So, yeah. Still skeptical. But 70 to 21,000 subscribers, that is quite a lot, isn't it? But then again, it is a force wipe rust rotation. A lot of people did turn up, so. Alright, fair enough. But the sheep in the door, well, that is a concern because we have tons of sheep in the doors. And I can't click this, unfortunately. So it looks like we might have a bit of a problem in STM to APP. If you're experiencing issues, it's affecting everybody. So what we'll do now is we'll just skip ahead once we're past this issue. Okay, problem resolved. Let's go back to it. So Night Hunter, sheep in the door, Night Hunters, Hedge. There's more than one. Okay, sorry. A fun, cool little glow-in-the-dark design. We've got to keep an eye out and see if there's going to be any collection continuations. Large box, sheep in the double door, furnace, who knows. But the more the merrier for a deplorable collection. I'm not going to say no to that. But by default, I am a little bit unsure. The amount of sheep in the doors we have is 265. That, of course, does include Twitch drops. There are so many skins that have come out in the past 2 years, and then it just dropped down instantly. Last year, we had a record-breaking amount. Last year, we had a record-breaking amount going down in price as well. Oh, my. So, by default, I'm like, yeah, we could probably just stick with Nabardra on that. Sorry to say. But with the amount of sales as well, that's not going to be helping it out. It is quite a lot. So I would be a little bit concerned. But at the very least, keep an eye out, all right? And at the end of the day, if you like a skin, buy it. Buy it, use it, enjoy it. Support the skin creator. Keep them nice and motivated. Keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. You get the idea. Cool. So, all right, that's up to you. But let's now move on and talk about the next batch of skins. Antique tools. So they're doing quite alright at the moment. Again, when I first saw, tool skins, I'm like, they normally go down in price. Well, at the very least, let's go ahead and see how much they're likely to sell by next Thursday. So again, we're still somewhat close near these. And if I were to just take a look, we're basically comparing to the other things we just saw. So, okay, if I go back over to here with the estimates I have for the tier 3, I think these tools are going to probably do between 15 to 19,000 subscribers. Maybe I might bump it up and just say 16 to 20,000 subscribers. That's quite a lot. That is, yep. Now, if I could just take a look at all the hatchets, look at them based on subscriber counts. We've had we've had a few pairs of tools sell for quite a lot in the past. Oh, I've clicked the wrong thing there. Let's go back over to here. Sorry, SMM still having a few issues and whatnot. That very likely could lead to these becoming the highest ever selling tools we've ever seen. And as you can see, a lot of those hatchet skins aren't doing very nicely right there. And then we go over to the pickaxes. Let's go take a look at this. And again, same thing. So, highest subscribers, please. And yeah, it'll be definitely the highest selling one here. So, sorry to say, but it's looking like these are definitely going to go down to around $1. They look cool. It's just, look at how many of these are down to $1 and less. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. I feel like that's an inevitability. Very sorry to say. Then we have the backpack. 7,600 subscribers. Now, again, it's still pretty close, but what if we did something where we rolled it back a bit and looked at 7,000 subscribers? Do we have anything with 7,000 subscribers? I'm looking. Oh my, this is a bit of a struggle. Yes, it is. So, okay, we're probably not going to be able to get that out of any of this. Nope. But we can still compare based on what we just talked about these, because again, as much as I'd like to bring up these garage doors and whatnot, they're all around 19,000 subscribers, and we've just kind of made that comparison already with all these other skins. So if I was to give you a nice estimate in regards to that, backpack here, so of course let's look at the sales right now. I think that'll probably do just a little bit less, 14 to 18,000 subscribers, which is quite a lot. Not an insane number, which we have seen in the past with other large backpack skins. It's not going to be anything close to where the Blackout did and the No Mercy and whatnot, but it is still quite a lot. Yeah, you'll be the 7th or 8th best selling skin. And the majority of the skins here, Well, it's no longer all red. There is quite a decent amount of green skins, aka skins in the green in a positive. Maybe it will work out nicely tempered. We do have a very large collection here. It's just not all of it's like super in demand. And it is still selling quite a lot. So $2.49, I might just stick with a buy order, right? So, okay, 14 to 18,000 subscribers. And lastly, the two weapons. Again, still surprised they are the lowest selling skins for the batch, but they're still selling quite a lot. Anyway, let's go back over to here. That had 6,500 subscribers based on time. Could knock off about 500 subscribers. And I do believe the best thing we could compare to are these two skins here. Right, so let's go to just that. April 24, take me away. All right. Oh, 16,000 subscribers and 14. All right. There's a lot of high sales overall, isn't there? Yeah. But what I think I'll do for the Custom SMG is 13 to 16,000 subscribers. I feel that's a reasonable amount. But for this, a transparent aim sight weapon, I'm still surprised. But then again, it's a Custom SMG. How often are you even using them and appreciating them and enjoying them? Yeah, okay, fair enough. If it was a Heat Seeker skin, though, I still think it would have probably done extra 10,000 subscribers. Just saying. Right, well, okay, fair enough. It's green. It's nice. It's got a cool style to it. It's just, yeah, I guess people just don't like the weapon itself. It's not abnormal as well. That is a concern. That will only rotate when the Rustle rotates in. So we'll only be able to do a barter when the Rustle rotates next week. Okay. Could you still be a Custom SMG that actually ends up in the positive? Because the vast majority of them are down pretty bad. Down pretty bad indeed. Oh dear. Only the blackouts in the positive out of all the skins that have been accepted in like the past 5 years. Absolute madness. Yep. I think I'll probably play it safe and stick with a buy order. Nothing against the skin, it's just it's how other people look at it and treat it. And then we have the AK. So, back over to here. Let's go do another comparison. Do we have anything with like 5,000 subscribers? Not the SAP there. What else we got? You had 4,300. Wow, this is... Oh, there you go. Croco double barrel shotgun. Perfect. Another skin in the same collection. Right, so when were you? Like the second week? And here we are. That only got 12,000 subscribers. I'll sit here and say 11 to 13,000 subscribers. That amount for the lowest selling skin of the week? That's pretty insane. But again, it's a force wipe. Lots of people playing. A lot of people did turn up. The peak player count wasn't that insane though. It was only 191,000. I honestly expected more. Maybe we'll see more as we progress through the month, because I do believe later on in this month, that is when the kids are actually going to start leaving school, go on their breaks and whatnot. So, okay, fair enough. We'll accept that. Back over to here. So, looking at this, if you're going to do 11 to 13,000 subscribers, would you do a bit better compared to that other green AK we saw quite some time back? Well, that actually sold less. The Bamboo AK47, which was accepted, what, like 2-3 weeks ago? That sold for $3.49. Now it's half its price. That did just under 9,000 subscribers. Okay, well, that's, oh dear. Now, looking at the Croco collection in itself, it's not exactly doing insane numbers, but it's not exactly doing terrible. So maybe the AK might just do a good job of just retaining its price. You know, not exactly down super bad, but probably still down a fair bit. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to accept that, I'm afraid. Sorry to say. So overall, yeah, the whole Rush store is looking like it's selling quite a lot. It is looking like it's going to be doing pretty nice. But the high sales and whatnot, I just can't help but assume all of them are probably going to go down in price at some point, eventually in the future. Yes, all the skins at one point, all down in price. That might not happen until October time, which we're still months away from. So why am I bringing up that? Well, I should probably introduce you now to a video I've uploaded. So that would be this Rust Summer 2025 Positivity Skin Prices Rising video. So over to here. I'd definitely recommend you give this a good watch. You'll hear my thoughts in regards to what I'm expecting over the course of the next few months. AKA, we're already starting to see a lot of skins rise up in price ever so nice. As you can see here, some notable things that I talk about and showcase. Mummy wraps already matching up to close around to the same price that it peaked at last summer, last year. I talk about the MP5 here with the amount of sales it has, oh my. With the amount of listings it has, oh my. And the garage door there, I already pointed out, that was down bad like a month or two ago. Now it's starting to rise back up in price. There's actual genuine demand for the design. It's just there's a lot of them in circulation. Well, on the Steam market now, it's got a reasonable amount, so the price is actually starting to become a lot more reasonable. The purchases are happening, the price is going up. So give that a good watch. Yeah, it's about 30 minutes, 2x speed. Just let me yap away, and I'm sure you'll probably feel a lot more like reassured to feel a little bit more positive now. But I do say, eventually, once the summer is over, autumn, fall, seasonal dip, September, October, November, you might want to get your sales in whilst the summertime is good, because it doesn't last forever. So, yeah, okay, cool. Right, so let's go ahead and quickly look at the front page of the Rust Steam market. The Heatseeker skins are always there. So looking at this, Heatseeker MP5, it has over 2,000 subscribers. But in that Rust Summer video I just talked about, I do a nice comparison with the Whiteout boot. Basically, Whiteout boots were pretty much the exact same thing, with a very similar amount of subscribers, 64,000 for the boots, 65,000 for this. The Whiteout boots retained value quite nicely during the summer, but it did drop off pretty bad once we hit around October. Got real cheap. But as time goes on, over the past 2 years, it's been slowly, gracefully rising up in price. And basically, it's now doubled in price for what it sold for in the Rust store. But it took a while, but the demand was always there. There just happened to be far too much stock. Same thing would apply to this. So as long as we don't see any other MP5s with an aim sight like this Heatseeker MP5, that will still be good. That will still keep its demand. Now in contrast, we have the Heatseeker SAR. Now you might notice, hang on a minute, was this like $8, $9 just a few days ago? And you might notice that, oh, hang on a minute, what? Why have we suddenly started seeing a lot more sales happening? Because people have been selling to the highest bidder because they're having a bit of a panic. Why would people panic? What's wrong? We have been informed of a brand new Twitch drop for the BELLUM Twitch drops. And you can see it right there. That is Silver's SAR. It has the exact same aim sight. Well, near enough, but the same amount of transparency as the Heatseeker SAR. That's going to be a Twitch drop that will be given away for free between June 25 to July 2nd. Great. So a lot of people found out about that, and they have sold their SARs because they're like, I don't want to hold on to mine now if I'm going to get that for free. And again, it's like people in general. You're going to likely see a lot less people wanting to buy the Heatseeker SAR because they have that instead. They already own something that's just as effective. And it's not a matter of just as effective. It's quite literally almost the same exact sight. But that's free. The other one's $8. Well, it was $6 now. Was about $4 earlier. It's been a bit funny, but will the Heatseeker SAR ever recover? Probably. As time goes on, yeah, sure, give it time. But again, that might take like years. Yeah. Now, so as long as we keep seeing more Heatseeker skins being produced and accepted, that should also still work out quite nicely. So just to remind all of you, give that video a good watch. You'll see it for yourself. The Heatseeker SAR is a little bit better at night time. The yellow coloration does help out, but still that's free. It's free. 2 hours of your time, watch the Silver stream. It's free. Cool. All right, point made. All right. And of course, feel free to go ahead and watch the batch of skins that I showcased last week. All the collection continuations are still there. So why did I bring that up? Well, of course, I'm about to showcase to you another batch of skins. Yes, the newest batch of skins. The newest skins that have been submitted to the workshop. Oh my, what is that? Yep, it is potentially the first ever transparent aim sight revolver to be added to the game. Now, Mr. Vase, he's actually made 2 versions of this because he wasn't quite happy with the design with the tiger. He couldn't really make it right. So he's done one with the tiger where you only see like 1 eye or 2 eyes there. And then you see all like the flowers there. And then you had the second version, we quite literally see all of it. So, hey, it's up to Face Punch, whichever one they prefer. But at the end of the day, they both have this aim sight. Both of them have their aim sight. Now you're going to sit and say, oh, it's not that much different. Well, Pythons, the comparison there and whatnot, the transparent aim sight Pythons are the only ones that are actually like in the positive at the moment. That right there, well, I'm sure many of you are fully well aware, revolvers are all in the positive. They get enough usage where there's a, enough justification to own skins, and we don't get that many accepted. So, like, again, it's a recipe for success. I can't scroll down. I think SMM's broke again. Take my word for it. Oh, there you go. They are perfect. Right? Yeah, that's it. Right. I can see you, Mill Hellfree. Take it off my screen. Blah. Anyway, so yep, that's looking cool. That's looking nice. Lovely stuff. So, point made. Yeah, I'm feeling positive about that. Not sure which version is going to get accepted, but they both still have the exact same aim site. So, cool. And of course, I can also point out like Deep Ruby here as well with some hoodie and pants. That's looking sweet. So, potentially, some nice looking collection continuations in the horizon. Are you feeling happy? Are you looking forward to it? So, yeah, perhaps we'll have a bit of a hiccup with the Heatseeker collection for just maybe a week, but then we'll probably go back to seeing them being accepted again. Maybe we end up seeing the brand new Python being accepted in the next Rust store. Oh, imagine that. I personally would prefer the Revolver. I'm just saying. Revolvers happen to be very, 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 very nice investments. I feel like I've kind of showcased that to you. Right, so, yeah, overall, things are improving. Things are looking better. But, yeah, I'm just a bit surprised about the player count. But then again, like with December time, we saw a lot more people playing towards the end of the month. But Hedge, that's when everybody had time off. Yeah. You know, if kids start getting out of school at the end of this month, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Okay, fair enough, cool. So, yeah, perhaps July and August would have, like, the much bigger peak player count. But I am noticing the average is improving and increasing. So, all right, we'll see. The main thing is prices are improving and we can be happy about that. So yes, just keep an eye out for the BELLUM Twitch drops. They should all be listed here now, all the specific skins I believe. I think we have 4 generic drops to look forward to as well. When all of them are out, I'll showcase them to the best of my ability, alright? That'll be the intended plan. Cool. Alright then, so I'm sure you saw with the previous weeks, the skins are looking reasonably okay to a point, so that's last week. Thompson's still holding up its value. Black Alligator Tier 2 still doing alright. That went up in price by a lot for a while. This Milho Frito thing still appears on my thing. I can't get rid of it. Thanks, SMM. But then again, SMM is struggling a little bit. Sorry. Then all the skins here, they've all dropped off except the sap. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hey, we just looked at hoodie and pants there. Maybe Tier 2 could appreciate it. I noticed the Tiger stuff has dropped off quite significantly. I've been dumped on, not too bad, but enough where I'm like, oh, nuts. And then the skins here, yeah, they're doing quite alright, some of them, but some other ones, not so much. Oh dear. May 8 was the small Rust store. The sap's doing okay, as expected. The sleeper bag's doing quite alright, which is a bit of a surprise based on the amount of sales it had, but there's demand, so alright, cool. And the AK, that AK just keeps on flourishing. Same site isn't even that pay to win, really. But because it was the first skin in the Heatseeker collection, it's all that love, it gets all that attention. But it keeps going up and it keeps going down. So up, down, up, down. What's next? I wonder. Would it be $13 if that was the only skin and no other collection appeared? No, it would be. It would probably be quite a lot cheaper. But hey, it happened. So if you actually bought one of these, congratulations, thumbs ups to you. I didn't buy any because I wasn't actually sure if FacePunch would even consider the thought of accepting a super transparent aim sight saw. But it happened. And then the MP5. So, yeah, I did do a much stronger barter, though. I'm still hoping I could pick up some, right? And, of course, the May Foresight Rust store, with a ridiculous amount of sales across the board, most of the skins have suffered. Because, of course, they sold a little bit too much. That locker's doing better, though. Oh, wow. Oh, props to you. Well, good luck. Best of luck. That is looking nice. Okay. Right then, yep, that is everything. So thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. And one final thing to showcase to you. You probably caught a glimpse of it. I'll let you read that. And I'll let you have a quick little look at certain things. What is Hedge up to? Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to all of you. Best of luck with your investments. And let's see how things pan out.